What is up? Kyuzou here, bringing back the 40 out of 40 challenges video guide. We've been on a break, but we're back. So, let's just dive into it. Our first one is Gear Up. This one is going to be automatic, basically, so we don't even have to work for that one. Number 2, complete Delirium Encounters 1. Face your fears by passing through a Delirium mirror. Exactly what it says, just pass your ass through a mirror. Obtain a reward from a Delirium encounter, just stack up to 1. Click the fast forward button if you have to. And yeah. And the same thing goes for survive the madness. These two are the same. Number 3, complete these quests. So Dweller of the Deep you will find in Act 1. In the Submerged passage, we have to find a crab, kill him. Sever the right hand is in Act 3. And that is killing Gravicious in the Ebony Barracks. The King's Feast you will find in Act 5. In the Ruined Square, he is like sort of southeast, right before the Reliquary. Now I personally had a problem turning this in because when I did Innocence, I never talked to Baron. Bannon, not Baron. Bannon. I didn't talk to him there, so I couldn't talk to him in town. So when I did the King of Feast, I have to first go to Chamber of Innocence, talk to Bannon there, and then go to town and talk to him again to complete that quest, which is pretty dumb. Kishara's Star you will find in Act 7. In the Causeway. Fastest Fortuna you will find in Act 9. In the Foothills, where you have to kill a bull, I guess. Defeat these act bosses, progress the game. Now if you need help with this, then this video is not for you. Complete Encounters 1. Interact with a Massive Shrine. So we have to find a Massive Shrine. We have to find an Arcanist Strongbox. We have to complete 1 Delve Encounter, just the first one, like at the very bottom or very top. Depends how you look at it. We also have to defeat a red beast at the blood altar. So just do whatever recipe that requires a red beast in the menagerie. Complete Encounters 2. Allocate a major god power and a minor god power. That is Pantheons. You just have to click one of these and one of these. It's pretty random. You don't have to do like the follow-ups with the divine vessels and stuff like that. Upgrade an incursion room, just do an alpha mission up and simply upgrade. It's always at the top. Top is upgrade, bottom is change. Unlock a veiled crafting modifier. Find a veiled weapon or armor, unveil it, done. Use essence, use any random essence on all of these slot pieces. Weapon, shield or quiver, helmet, body armor, gloves, boots, ring, amulet or belt, and belt rather. Defeat act bosses again. If you need help with that, this video is not for you. Defeat Delirium monsters. So this is just a grind. This should be pretty fast. You just have to pop the mirror and kill stuff until all of these three fills up. Defeat Conquerors of the Atlas. We have to kill Sirius' 4 guardians along with Sirius himself. Complete these vendor recipe. So for a cartographer's chisel, we need a stone hammer, and it needs to be at 20%. So we take a stone hammer, along with a random map, and it is going to give us a chisel. Orb of Chance. So Orb of Chance and Chaos Orb share the same. They share the same recipe. So we need a full set of gear, as we have here. And it can be identified or unidentified. If it is unidentified, you get an extra. So we vendor a full set of gear. And we get, I have a prophecy for an extra Chaos Orb. Full set of gear gives Chaos, but it has to be item level, between item level 60 and 74. If it's 75 and above, you get Regals. If it is 59 and below, you get Chance Orbs. You can also, if you get mirrored items from rare mirrored items from strong boxes, if you vendor 2 of the same, that is rare, that is mirrored, you also get a chance orb that way, and that also works for the chance orb recipe. As the sextant recipe, we vendor 3 of the same sextants, and it upgrades to the next, and that is the recipe for that. For blight oils, it is the exact same thing, 3 of the same oil, vendor, and it upgrades to the next, that is the recipe. To get a Vaal orb, we need to vendor 7 Vaal gems along with a sacrifice fragment. A random sacrifice fragment. The Vaal gems do not have to be quality, they just have to be the Vaal version. 7 and 1, and you get a Vaal orb. Same thing for catalyst. 3 of the same catalyst. It is going to give us a random one, and that is the recipe. And for the Metamorph one, we do, it does 3, but it doesn't have to be the same one. It can be 3 any organ, and it's going to give us a random one. Craft items using currency. So we just have to use these currencies on any of the items. So for fossil, we have to use a resonator along with a random fossil. For catalyst, we just have to use it anywhere on a gear, like I've used on my ring here, for instance. Oils, anoint, anything. I'm not sure if it works on maps, like if you have a blighted map, if you don't want to like anoint anything, it might work on maps, because it is in items. I'm not really sure if that works, you can try. Turn in divination cards. So I'm going to change my scene here a little bit to monitor capture instead. You can go to passiveexile.gamepedia.com/divination card, and from there we can search for the cards that we need. So for scarabs, for instance, we just do Control F and search scarab, and buried treasure is going to yeah, I think, right, yeah. Buried treasure is going to give us a scarab. Chimera's cut is going to give us a scarab. More is never enough is going to give us a scarab. So whatever is cheaper, buy that. Same for, we can do shaper, same for shaper items. Perfection is a card that's going to work. The celestial stone. I think those, I'm not, yeah, the Lord of Celebration. Bone, Dark Dreams for a bone helmet, an Elder bone helmet. Nook's crown. The Eldritch Decay, that's a fragment, but it is an item, so it should work. The Hail Heart. The Undisputed. Void of the Element. So whichever is cheapest, buy that card. Currency. Must be like a stack of currency, I guess. Well, you have oh my god, it's like I'm brain farting real hard now. I'm probably gonna find it here. Emperor's Luck. Emperor's Luck is very common. The Master Artisan should work too. The Chrome. The 7th Chrome, I can't remember what it's called, but it's whatever. Like, you get the idea. Complete Encounters 3. Defeat Lord of the Grey in Belfry map without being affected by Devouring Darkness. So the Devouring Darkness is the degen that spreads. So if you're a range character, it's pretty easy to just stand on the edges, move between the edges, and if you do like a low tier version of that map, he's gonna die pretty quickly. Defeat the Brittle Emperor in Wasteland map while standing in his consecrated ground. Now, the first time around, I misinterpreted what this actually meant. Or rather, I misunderstood. So he does Desecrated Ground, which degens you, and that is not it. The Consecrated Ground is a very small aura that he has. You have to stand on top of him. Once you see, I think it's a brown icon. You'll get a brown icon up here as a negative effect aura. And once you have that, you can kill him. It is always on, as far as I know. You just have to stand right on top of him to get it. Defeat Nightmare's Omen in Primordial Pool map without taking damage from his blood projectiles after he has submerged at least twice. So the blood projectiles are the three, I think it's 3, right? So he spawns like 1 ball and then that splits into 3 or 4. You have to avoid all of that. And on top of that, he has to submerge twice. He has to go underground, come up, go back down again, and come up again, and then you can kill him. The problem is getting him to actually submerge, because it took me like 15 minutes to do this one. Defeat he of many pieces in Museum map while he has at least 15 Chaos Bomb actives. So he's gonna throw some purple bombs on the ground. I don't think they have a timer. If they do, it's very long. You just have to not walk over them, because if you walk over them, you activate them. I'm not really sure how many he throws at once, but if he just like does it twice, you should be good. Complete Delirium Encounters 2. Apply a Delirium Orb to a map. A Delirium Orb is one of these things. You can just grab one of these things from random. They have all very different modifiers. You would have to use one of these on top of a map. Complete a rare map that is affected by Delirium Orb. So what you want to do here is you want to make sure that the first orb you apply is rare, because that's a 2-in-1. Complete a rare map with maximum Delirium. Now this one took me a really long time to actually understand what they meant, because it's written pretty dumb. Like, I thought you just had to get to like 7 or something inside the map, but apparently what you need to do is you need to use 5 orbs. You need to use 5 orbs on one map. 5 orbs, 1 map. That is the max. That is the maximum Delirium. Use benches in Betrayal save files to modify items in the following way. Add a Vaal modifier, quality breach zone, blah blah blah. So basically all of these needs to be in research. And add a Vaal modifier is Ashling. Add quality to a map is Hillock. Upgrade a breachstone is It That Fled. Convert an amulet into a talisman is Jorgen. Add experience to a gem is Tora. Transfer color of at least 1 socket to white is Verici. So you need to get all of these people, Ashling, Hillock, It That Fled, Jorgen, Tora, and Verici. You need to get all of them into research, and then you have to use their benches. So they have to all go into research. And strategy to get them where you want. Basically never... if we get Riker, like if we... actually, we'll do Jorgen. We want Jorgen in research. So let's say we do an intervention, and Jorgen is there. And we have the choice to rank Jorgen up to intervention. We don't want to do that. We want to put him in prison. We want to demote him or do nothing with him to make sure he doesn't have a single star. He has to have no stars, and then we just do research until Jorgen appears, and then we rank him up. You also want to make sure you have as many red lines as possible. Red lines are rivalries, the more rivalry you have, the more chances you have of people from, let's say you're doing an intervention. If you have rivalries between intervention and fortification, you have a pretty large chance of getting people from transportation to jump in on the intervention event. So let's say we have Jorgen in fortification, and we do research. Let's say it's rank 2 or whatever in fortification. So we do a research event, we run into Jorgen. He is affiliated with transportation, but transportation and, or rather Jorgen, is in rivalry with research. Jorgen comes in, we defeat him, and now we might get the option to move Jorgen to research. So that's why I want rivalries. I haven't actually watched the video, but I know Cisaran made a detailed Betrayal video. I don't know if it's good, but you should probably check that out if you want to learn how to control the Betrayal events. Complete twin maps. We have to complete 12 tiers that has 2 bosses. Honestly, what my strategy has always been either get lucky, like you're bound to get a few of these just by mapping normally, but the ones you don't have, just transmute and alteration spam until you get 2 bosses, because it doesn't have to be rare, and it doesn't have to be corrupted. Complete Delirium Encounters 3. Defeat monsters that have each of the following Delirium modifiers. So we have to pop a mirror and get lucky. I mean, that's it. You have to get lucky. Complete Unidentified maps. So we need to complete rare Unidentified maps. 12 out of the 16. First of all, make sure you have a build that can handle unidentified maps, or rather a build that can deal with reflect and no regen. Strategies for this is you can do sauna missions.
Need a map?
And then you check your shop. Unless you have a rare map. Oh, here's a rare unidentified sunken city, so I'll just buy that and run it without actually identifying it.
Good luck.
Maps have a chance to drop rare, so don't identify that. You can also use a Vaal orb, because a Vaal orb has the chance of turning that map into corrupted and unidentified. So the strategy I would recommend is probably sauna missions. You can also, obviously, buy the maps. Achieve Ascension, just do all 4 labs. Experiment with cluster duels, so we need to socket a small, medium, large, rare, and a unique cluster duel. Also, the small, medium, and large has to be connected. So, if your build doesn't actually use cluster duels like mine, focus on this. Focus on the bottom one. Get regret orbs, and just spec out of some random nodes from your tree. Pick a cluster node that is close. Just make sure the jewels have sockets. Put them in. Take them out. Put your points back in. Make sure one is rare. Unique doesn't have to be connected to anything, and uniques are pretty cheap. I've actually had quite a few drop already, so it shouldn't be hard to get one. Complete Encounters 4. We need to open 100 strong boxes. We need to complete 50 abysses. With abysses, it's very important to know. I think it's a bug, or they just don't know how to actually program it correctly, but you just have to walk over the abyss. You don't have to do the entire event. You just have to activate the abyss, and you get the count. We also need to interact with 150 shrines, and we need to open 150 Perandus chests. Now, the Perandus one can be a little expensive. So, as for strong boxes, we do have ambush available. We also have abyss available if you want to speed it up. We have Perandus available. I was running Perandus maps, a lot of Perandus maps. That's 4 chaos per map. You get 3 chests per map. We also do get... There is ambush scarabs. There is Perandus scarabs. I don't even know I have any. Yeah, there's Perandus scarabs. Is it ambush? It's ambush. There are no abyss or shrine scarabs, sadly. Complete Metamorph encounters. Defeat a Metamorph. Simple. Open a map with a Metamorph scarab, so we need to pop a map with said scarab. We need to use one of these and open up a map. Done. Obtain an itemized sample from a Metamorph, and an itemized sample would be an organ. Defeat Metamorph in Taint's laboratory, which means we need to use 5. I'm missing 1. Is it liver? So we need a brain, we need an eye, we need a heart, we need a lung and a liver. We need to use those 5 in the laboratory, which you will find here on your minimap. Not minimap, but... And that is the challenge. Obtain rewards from Vaal side areas. So this one it's just straight up random. You'll find Vaal side areas in maps randomly, and you'll just have to hope it has these things. Now, something I don't know is if it actually works, if you can just put a sacrifice in and run that, if that gives it too. It does say side areas in maps, so I guess it doesn't. Obtain rewards from Delirium encounters. Random, sadly. Random. Although you can use, if you're desperate to, but I don't see why you would have to actually go through with that. Use a Delirium orb. Complete encounters while in mist. So while in the mirror, we need to kill an incursion architect. We need to defeat a betrayal target. We need to defeat a blight boss. We need to defeat a metamorph boss. So with incursion and betrayal, you can use a delirium orb. With a delirium orb, the mist is permanent throughout the entire map, and then you just do an Atlas mission. For metamorph boss, what you can do, what I did, is you do low level maps until you get the metamorph encounter. Do not go through the mirror, just complete the map, then go back to where the mirror is, start the event, get him sort of low. Like if you're in a red map, you definitely want him to get low and then pop the mirror, because they can get really tanky. The first time I tried this strategy, I actually could not kill the metamorph boss in time. As for a blight boss, we just simply have to get lucky. And that's what I did. I got lucky. And what's especially lucky is that I don't know if it's just me, but I get so many blight encounters. Like Cassia is in like every third map. Complete Delirium encounters 4. So what we said earlier, we need to use 5 Delirium orbs on one map. And that map has to be twinned. You can do these 4 separately, obviously, because we can't do a Shaper and an Elder map at the same time. But one of the map has to be twinned. One of the maps, I suppose it can be a tier 1 because it doesn't specify, but your awakening level has to be 8. It has to be 8. You could buy... Do I have one? I know I have one somewhere. There we go, it's hiding. You can buy like an Ivory Watch Zone, a unique. Using these will actually boost. Like if you use, if you put 2 in here, for instance, it's going to count as a normal Watch Zone, and it's going to bump up the count. We also, like I said earlier, we need to do a Elder and Shaper Guardian map. So we have here, for instance, we have an Elder Guardian map. And then I do believe I have at least one. Yeah, here's a Shaper Guardian map. That would be like Chimera, Hydra, Minotaur, and whatever I'm missing. Explore the Atlas. Complete the following numbers of bonus objectives and awakening bonus objectives. So bonus objectives is completing maps. You just have to complete maps. Awakening bonus is a secondary bonus, so we have to do, well, it's like the bottom one there, awakening bonus. Here, for instance, I haven't done the above bonus, and the awakening bonus is that I have to complete this map at least tier 15, and awakening has to be at least level 8. So when it says that you don't have the bonus, be sure to actually double check the awakening level. I've done this mistake before. I've been at level 6 or whatever, and I'm reading, oh, I haven't completed the awakening bonus, and I do the map, I don't get it, like what the hell, and then, oh, I need level 8. Reach level 90, complete encounters 5, Complete encounters 5. Defeat Varus Shimmering Aberration in Terrace map without becoming fearful. So this is Yugal, as you will know him while leveling up. Throughout the fight, there's going to be small balls, there's some big balls too in succession coming at you. The small balls floating all around is the ones that affects you with fearful, so that's the ones you need to avoid. But please note that the hitbox for the small balls are actually bigger than they seem. I walked, I don't know, like this much away from one and I still got affected. So big deeps is going to help you throughout this fight to speed it up, and walking along the edges. Defeat Enticer of Rot in Spider Forest map within 5 seconds of Avatar of Rot's death. So this is Alira, and I don't know if it's like timed or if it's like based on her life, but eventually she will spawn an ad, and you need to kill that ad and her within 5 seconds of each other. Now the problem here is, if you don't do a whole lot of damage, the ad actually has next to no life, so he dies very, very quickly. Defeat Lady Stormflay and get a map while you are affected by vulnerability. She does vulnerability on hit. She does hit really fucking hard, so you want to be careful. So either you get hit by her attack to get affected by vulnerability, or you somehow self-cast it, or you run a map mod with the vulnerability. Defeat Piety the Empyrean in Shrine map while you are affected by Piety's Rage. You will be affected by Piety's Rage when she is in fire form. When she is in fire form and she melees you, you will get a debuff for 3 to 5 seconds, maybe 5 seconds. So strategy here: get her down low, wait until she goes fire, get hit, Culling Strike. Complete Simulacrum I. Basically we just have to complete all 20 waves. That's what it says. We also need to defeat 2 of the bosses. There's 2 different bosses that can spawn. Omniphobia and Kosis. Now I've heard people not getting the boss to spawn at all. And there's a challenge, I think it's a little bit further down, where you need to have 2 bosses at the same time in one single wave. But me personally, I've had, like, on average, I'll get, like, I don't know, 5 bosses per these things. So I guess you have to get lucky. Curious Corruption. Obtain 12 of the following 15 corruption outcomes by using Vaal orbs, the Blood Altar, or the Altar of Corruption in the Temple of Atzodal. Blood Altar and Altar of Corruption is in the temple. I believe one of these is the gem version, the tier 3 gem counter, and the other one is the corruption chamber. So what we need to do here is, well, it's right here. So we either need to change the implicit, or we need to get 2 implicits, and you can only get 2 implicits in the temple. Need to change it to an influence. I don't know if that's actually a Vaal orb modifier thing. We need to break a unique. We need to get a white socket. I'm thinking if this works with Varici, probably not, because it has to be corrupted. 6 link, additional gem levels, gem quality. Yeah, +1 and plus whatever the gem quality, or turn it into a Vaal skill, or 8 mod on a rare map. Basically we just need to spam a shit tonnery of Vaal orbs. Now the 30% quality one, I do believe will work with beast crafting, because I'm pretty sure that is how I got it. So you got beast crafting here, you just use a weapon with, I probably don't have an extra. If we hide that, and 30%, yeah, there we go. Corrupt an armor or weapon. I do believe that one works, but I'm pretty sure that is how I got mine. Complete encounters 6. Defeat a possessed rogue exile, so either we get lucky, or there is actually a prophecy called Possessed Foe, which I do believe turns every unique monster into a ghosted mob. And rogues are uniques, so they should all be ghosted. There is also the Deadly Rivalry questline, Prophecy questline, where they are always ghosted, I believe. There is also a prophecy, I do not know the name of it, but there is a prophecy where you have a chance of spawning a ghost upon killing a rare, so what you could do is kite the exile to the rare, you kill the rare, ghost hopefully flies into a rogue. Exchange Brandis coins with Kadira Parandus. So there is 3 ways, I believe, of spawning Parandus this league. 1 is using the Sauna mod, 2 is using the Scarabs. I do believe let's double check this. It should say on, right? Yes, it has a, yeah, the higher tier, the Scarab, the higher chance you have of spawning Parandus. You can also spawn Parandus by getting, where are you? Janus. Janus is not on my board, but if you get Janus Parandus in research, you will always spawn Parandus in there. Kadiro, that is. Now, you don't have to buy a single item for 5,000 coins. You just have to spend a total of 5,000. So you can buy, I don't know, like 10 items in total worth 5,000 and you get the challenge. Defeat a bestiary boss. If you already have the recipe, you can just buy the boss. You just go to recipes, and do this. Whoops, look for portal. And then you look for what boss you need. So for Sakawal, we need a Rex or Fenris Lair. We need a Venumal Hybrid Arachnid. And you just buy that one and do it. If you do not have the recipes already, you are, I'm afraid, gonna have to get lucky and find one by doing Anar missions. Defeat Atsiri in the Temple of Atzodal. So we need to find Atsiri inside here and then defeat her. And the name of that room is Royal Meeting Room, which then upgrades to Hall of Lords, which then upgrades to Throne of Atsiri. Defeat map bosses while they are under the effects of Delirium. My strategy for this is going to be, and has been, running tier 1 maps. So what I've been doing currently is, I ran all the beaches because it's pretty short, the boss is in the middle, so you just pop the mirror and just run straight up. Jungle Valley is pretty short too, but I've been doing a lot of piers where I just run straight up. I can actually show you what I do. We have time, right? So this is just a tier 1. We then find a mirror. Here it is. We then just straight up. Make sure we're not running ahead of the mist, because if we do, the timer is gonna start. Oh man, I got currency. Oh, you see, I ran past it. We actually need to slow down a little bit. The boss is always basically straight up. And there we go, +1. Now sadly I got currency for this, I'm gonna see if I can kill a few more. What do we get? Was it worth it? Probably not. The beauty about this is, last league, like if your Atlas was all red maps, you could not drop white or yellow maps. But they fixed that now, so with my Atlas looking like this, I'm still getting white maps back by running white maps. And what I basically do is I only like sorta clear the map if it's a good reward. Well, basically if it's currency. If it's anything else, I just rush to the boss, kill the boss, leave the map and pop the next one. But along the way, I always get returns. On average, just out and go, I'm getting maybe 3 or 4 piers back from doing one pier. So I started with 40 piers and figured, well, I started with beaches and moved up to pier maps. Figured I'd just run to 40, and then I'll move up to tier 2s, do the tier 2s, and then I'll do the tier 3s, you know, I'll do the quick maps. Now, What I didn't account for was that I was gonna fill this damn tab up again. So I've been running an eternity of, well, I've basically been running at least 150 peer maps. So the reason for tier 1, just because it's fast, and it's a really good way of getting splinters. It's really fast. If we get a good reward, we go for the reward. If we get a shit reward, we just kill the boss and then move on. Complete unique maps, buy them. Go to, do not go to PoE Trade because that shit is slow. Go to passiveexile.com/trade and buy whatever map you're missing. See, complete the Epilogue questline. We basically just have to do the Atlas questline here, you know, killing the Guardians. Up to, well, I guess not up to 8. I think I got this at Awakener 6 or 5. I think it's 5 or 6. So we just have to get the just check your quest lines where you need to kill them. I don't know if I have an old here. Yeah, like yeah, the hunter. It's gonna tell you which region he has to be in for the quest line to complete. I think it's random every time. Complete the Simulacrum II. Complete a wave of monster, which spawns 2 bosses, which we talked about earlier. Obtain a rampage streak of 300 in the Simulacrum. There are a couple of ways of doing this. Myself, I bought a Bisco's Leech strictly for this challenge. Now, the problem is I love the belt too much that I kept it in the build. But unless you get the Highgate layout, for some reason the Highgate layout is absolute garbage. I could never get more than 250 rampage streaks in any wave. But all the other, like the best one is Bridge Encampment, I believe it's called. Is it part 2? The Bridge Encampment. Like every other layout in the Simulacrum besides Highgate, I got 550 rampage stacks every wave, no problem. There are also unique gloves you can use, which are called Worm Sign. Gain rampage while at maximum endurance charges. Lose all endurance charges when rampage ends. So to get permanent endurance charges with that, we can use a jewel. I do not know the name of the jewel. I've been googling it like mad, but I can't find it. But I'm pretty sure there is a jewel that gives negative endurance charges. So if you stack enough to get to 0, you will always have rampage. The thing about the belt too is it's snapshots. So you kill 1 pack, swap belt, and then go on. As long as you don't lose all your stacks, it's always going to refill. Complete waves of monsters in the Simulacrum. We need to defeat 100 waves. That is 500. No, what am I saying? That is 5 Simulacrum maps. With some quick off-camera math is 1500 splinters. Complete deadly encounters. We need to defeat Uber Elder. So to defeat Uber Elder, we need to kill Shaper. Shaper drops 2 of the fragments. I do not know the names at the top of my head. Let's see. Yeah. So Shaper drops 2 white fragments, Fragment of Terror and a Fragment of... Elder, normal Elder, drops Fragment of Shape and Fragment of... So to gain access to Uber Elder, we need to kill Shaper to get the right fragments, and we need to kill normal Elder to get the right fragments. We need to kill High Templar Venarius in the Cortex. So either we buy the map, which is fairly expensive, I'd say. It's like between 2 and 3 exalts, I think. It might have gone down since I bought it. We also have a chance of getting it as a sauna mission. Now, the Cortex is tier 5, so I believe you have a chance of getting it anywhere, but you might have a higher chance of getting it in red maps. Sauna also has a chance of selling it after a sauna mission. After every sauna mission you do, she resets her shop, and you have a chance of being able to buy it. Domain of Timeless Conflict, we need to do 1 Legion. We just have to do 1 emblem. We don't have to do 4 or 5. We just have to do 1 and complete that map. That is the Timeless Conflict. We need to kill a Mastermind at an area of level 83. So we just have to do enough like tier 16 missions. And it should turn her into 83. Like I was doing a shit tonnery of white tier betrayal missions. But then I started doing red maps, and all of a sudden her area was 83. Like I was gonna reset her because I thought for sure she was only gonna be like 76 or something. I thought there was someone at my door, but nope. Kind of lost where I was. I think we covered everything in here, right? Leave to chance. We need to use a chance orb on a weapon, strongbox map, jewel, to turn it into magic, rare, and unique. So what I did with unique maps is, so chancing uniques, it's weighted the same as they would drop. So the higher tier a unique is to drop, the lower chance it will have to drop, and the lower chance it will have to chance it. So very common uniques are going to be very easy to chance. So, in terms of maps, like the most common map I figured would be probably the Waka Waka map. So I just took some white strands. It's a tier 3 or it's tier 2. So I just took a bunch of strands, scour chanced, and I think I got it within like 70. I tried Jewel, but I kind of gave up pretty quickly. I didn't use that many. I decided to go for a unique weapon instead, because I believed the easiest one to get would be a Quill Rain. It is a very common weapon. Now, for some, like, I've chanced a lot of Quill Rains throughout, well, I don't want to say Pee-wee career, but I've chanced a lot of Quill Rains, and usually I will get it within 100 scour chances. This one took 700, but yeah, I would still recommend chancing Quill Rain. Strongbox is probably not going to be that easy. Jewel might probably be better, probably easier than the weapon because there's so many unique jewels, and they're also very common. So for your last one, either weapon or jewel, I guess. But map, definitely try to chance the Waka Waka map because it's pretty easy. It did not take me many. Endgame grind. So we need to reach a level 100. Well, actually we have options. I should say that. We can eliminate 2 of these. So our options are level 100, or complete delve encounters of an area level of 80. Or higher in the Azurite mine. So basically, we just have to do 500 nodes in total in an area of 80, zone level 80 plus. Now I haven't actually delved that much this league, or at all. Basically, I'm only down to 106. Cleanse the Dark Shrines in Endgame Labyrinths. I will be doing that. That is Uberlab. So you want to wait for a day where Uberlab has a lot of shrines. I believe the max it can spawn is 4. On average, you'll have 2 to 3. Now, sadly, for the most part, these shrines are going to be off room and not in a straight path where you want them. So you want to wait until there's like 4 shrines, and then you just run lab until you tire. Complete blighted maps. I will be doing this because you only have to do 50, and doing blight events and Simulacrum, I've gotten like close to 30 already. I might be selling the red ones because it is super difficult for me to complete red blighted maps. I will probably only do the white and yellow ones. Sell the reds and then buy white ones. So that one should be pretty easy. Defeat Conquerors of the Atlas. Not sure if I'm personally going for this. Maybe. I mean, we have 35 already, so if we're farming Cirrus, then yeah, 100 should be pretty easy, quick. Defeat waves of monsters in the Simulacrum. 750 waves. So if we do some off-camera math here, so that's 750 waves. And you get 20 waves, so if you divide that by 20, that is 37 maps, 37 and a half. So if we make it 38, so that's 38 maps, 38 times 300, that is 11,400 splinters. Yeah, that is up to you. So, that is the 40 out of 40 guide. Now, I hope I didn't miss anything. I hope I didn't fuck anything up. If I did, please let me know and we'll correct it. If you have any additions that you feel I missed, please let me know, and I will make a I'll make a pinned comment about updates and such. But for now, see you next video.